Hi, folks. Welcome to the Ivy Boys podcast presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker, 314-369-9680, RebeccaSellsDreams.com. I am your host, Chipper Lewis, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Joel Fry. Joel, how's it going, buddy? It's been a while since we've done one of these.
It's been so long. Think about the fact that we haven't even talked about the trade deadline yet, or at least the results of it. Last time we talked, we were discussing who would and wouldn't be on the team.
Right.
And who knew that all this crew needed was the greatest hitter of all time, Nicholas Castellanos, to join the lineup, and then all is well. It's there's a lot to talk about, man, in a couple of weeks that we haven't been here.
Yes, a lot to talk about. I mean, people got my reaction to the trade deadline, the Castellanos and the Kemp, because of the live trade deadline show I did and the videos I was putting out that day. So people knew how I felt. Before we get your reaction, let's. I'm really excited about something. I'm really excited.
Okay.
I'm gonna move. This is the second week in a row now. I'm gonna move a headline up. I'm switching up the rundown just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit, because I am really, really excited about what happened, as I should be, because it's great. It's great, and you know what? I want to play you a reaction, something that really put me in a great mood. You ready for this?
I'm so ready for this, man. You're teasing the heck out of it.
I know, it's great.
A laser to center field for a single in the sixth inning. And it's in the air to left field, and the Cubs have taken the lead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He's so mad. So mad. That, of course, is Thom Brennaman, the Reds TV broadcaster.
Can we get that on a button? Can we get him going unbelievable?
Yeah, I don't see why we could not be able to do that. It is him reacting to Chris Bryant's home run, go-ahead home run today, as the Cubs split the series against the Reds. And Joel, the way the Cubs have played on the road, and again, they are not good on the road, and I said in the video before this podcast, nobody in the National League Central is really good on the road. Nobody is. The Cubs are just a little bit worse than everybody else. Going into Cincinnati and splitting the series, I feel like was awesome. Like, I feel good about the Red Series now. I feel good about this. What about you? Uh-oh. There you are.
I'm fine with. I mean, you know what it feels a little bit like? It feels a little bit like the Mets series at Wrigley Field earlier this season. That was one where a split 2-2 series was salvaged because of a late game home run by Javi Baez on a Sunday afternoon. This series, same thing. And the ramifications of both were that the Cubs were able to maintain, and the Cubs would have been in first place even if they had not won today, but it was a pivotal victory for them in maintaining a little bit more of a lead. And you don't want to have to feel good about
Joel's robot
Sunday
voice.
that keep you from so I'm better about this than I could, but at the same time, I mean, 2-2 against a team like that when you're trying to win the Central is something you should, at the very least, pull off every time you go to Cincinnati.
Yes. And again, folks, we are experiencing small technical difficulties. That's why we are in presence of Joel's robot voice for a little bit. That's okay. It eventually works itself out. We're going to fix this, I promise. But yes, I mean, a split's great. The Cubs, and what's so frustrating is, for me, all four games is game 2 on Friday night. The Cubs got down early. They were down 5-0, 5-1? No, Castellanos hit a home run, and then they gave up 5 runs. I remember now. They were down 5-1.
Yep.
The Cubs had the bases loaded in the top of the 8th inning and nobody out with Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez coming up. Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez. Bryant gets on, I think. Yeah. And then Rizzo gets hit,
Yes.
so we score a run. And then Baez and Schwarber swung at the – I mean, Baez and Happ and Schwarber all swung at the first pitch. Bases loaded. No outs. Rizzo just got hit, and you're swinging at the first pitch. Swinging at the first pitch. I don't care if that pitch is straight down the middle.
Yeah, that was a rare. Yeah. He's got 4 home runs and he's driving in runners in scoring position, done a really, really nice job. Just, perplexing. Bad approaches from 3 guys in a row after Rizzo gets hit. So and Javi actually, I think he had a good approach at the plate. I think he hit the ball in the wrong place because he was going the opposite field. It was the wrong time to hit it right there.
I get it. No, I understand. I get that. But it's just when I saw that Schwarber swung at the first pitch, that bothered me. Me. I mean, the guy has he has one of the best eyes when it comes to the strike zones in the lineup. And you're going to swing at the first pitch. You're going to swing at the first pitch when you know you can do damage later on in the account, or you know the guy has been a little wild, and you're going to swing at the first pitch. That the Schwarber at bat is that's what really bothered me the most, I think.
He's been about career average with the bases loaded. In 35 plate appearances, he's got 2 home runs, hitting about 250 overall. So in that situation, I feel okay with him at the plate. But yeah, you're 100% right, man. Work the count. That's one of the things that he's known for, or at least that he's expected to do. I'm going to pull up his numbers really quick when he swings at the first pitch, see how that looks overall for the season, and for his career. But I can't imagine that he just seems like the kind of guy who, the deeper a count goes, the more to his advantage that is, regardless of the count.
Yeah.
And to swing at the first pitch, not give yourself a chance to really battle, is a problem. By the way, he is great on the first pitch, so listen to me talk. Okay, he has had 55 plate appearances where he's swung at the first pitch, and he is batting .340 with 8 home runs.
Okay. That's good. That's
really good. Yep. Oh, by the way, on a 1-0 count, he's batting .609. On a 1-0 count, he's .609 with 4 home runs. So he's really bad. There's a couple of counts here where he's abysmal, but he's actually spoiler alert, Kyle Schwarber has some situations where he's a really good hitter.
And that's I understand, but the first pitch could easily be when he's leading off an inning. It could be, nobody on. You have to know your scenario when you're swinging at the first pitch. You have to know the scenario. That's what it comes down to. I understand his numbers, 340, swinging at the first pitch, 8 home runs. But how many of those have been when nobody was on? Do you know what I'm saying here? I mean, how many solo home runs was it?
Good question. I don't know.
You have to know your situation. You have to know the guy has hit Rizzo. The guy, the bases are loaded. You got to know your situation. You're down 5-2. Know the situation. Base hit changes everything. Everything. And it's not just Schwarber. It's Happ. And, of course, like Baez, I understand. Hit it probably just to the wrong person. I get that. But you got to know your situation.
Yeah, I was bothered by the Schwarber and Happ at bats. Baez one, I was just went, shoot, that's not good luck. He's not a career. Baez, by the way, first pitch swinging, he's hitting .341 this year with 7 home runs.
So that's because you get a fastball in the first pitch most of the time.
Typically. Yeah, with 2 strikes, Baez is a 230 hitter this year. So I mean, the guy he has 12 home runs with 2 strikes. We talked about that before, how good he is with a two on an 0-2 count.
Yes.
But hitting 230 so far this year, just outstanding. Schwarber with 2 strikes is batting 124. Don't let him get 2 strikes
Ugh.
because he will not get a hit.
Oh, that's not good. He's
No,
very
it's
he swings over that curveball low and in a lot.
Isn't that? Yeah, he does, and he seems to let he's Yohan Moncada disease in some ways because he will let a lot of those borderline pitches go. I don't know if it's just that he's guessing wrong. If Schwarber guesses wrong with 2 strikes a lot, but he does seem overmatched quite often. He will swing at that curveball low in the zone or low and inside. The one that looks like it gets caught behind his back foot.
Yes.
That seems to happen once a week. And then the fastball at the bottom of the zone, outside corner, I feel like he watches that ball go a lot with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
I feel like I see a lot of strike three looking on that specific pitch.
Where you would like to see him maybe shorten up and go the other way.
Yes, be a hitter. Be the hitter that Theo Epstein thinks you are.
Right. Don't just be that pull power hitter that everybody else thinks you are. Be the hitter that Theo and Jed think you are.
Meanwhile, by the way, the numbers for him in his career prove out he's a better hitter when he just tries to hit home runs. He's more impactful when he does that. When his percentage of at bats end in one of the 3 true outcomes, home run, walk, strikeout, he's more effective. Meanwhile, Chris Bryant at bats ends in a home run, walk, effective. If more and runs come to him, he's a better player. Meanwhile, Kyle Schwarber should just go up there and try to hit the ball as far as he can every time.
Yes, which is always fun when he makes contact. When Kyle makes contact, when he's trying to hit the ball as far as he can.
I love it.
Oh, it's awesome. You know who else does that? Is Jorge Soler. How awesome has Jorge Soler been this year?
Yeah, good for him. I mean, he's got more dingers than Schwarbs, I think.
35. He has 35.
Pull that up here real quick, but
He has 35.
up to 35.
He's 35.
Well, that escalated quickly. did he hit a couple today?
Yes, he hit 2 today. 35 home runs.
Okay, well, so he's having a great year, and he's batting 254 now.
Yeah.
So he's had an unbelievable August, apparently.
Yes.
This up because that I mean, good for him. And what is he? 26? I want to say. No,
Yeah,
he's
25.
Yeah, he's 27. Okay, he's 27.
Yeah, he's been really good. You still make that trade because the Cubs needed a closer at the time. They were contending for a World Series. I think there you are. Yeah, the Cubs are contending for a World Series that year. They needed a closer. I get it. You make the trade because you did have Almora. You had Schwarber. You had Jason Hayward. Soler was the odd man out. But, man, right? Right? That one hurts. That one hurts just a little bit because he has 35 home runs. Did I lose Joel? Folks, I may have lost Joel.
No, I think I'm back now.
Yay, you're back. Yay. Sorry, folks. Again, we are going to fix this.
So Soler is hitting 370 in August with runs. It hurts right now just because he's hitting really well, but I would make that trade every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Every single time. Oh, man.
So back to the trade deadline, because this is one where I think the Cubs feel really good about what they got back for what they gave. At this point, just watch. A couple of those prospects are going to come up and be world beaters in a couple of years. But right now, it feels really good because Castellanos is paying huge dividends for a winning ball club. So
Yes.
right now, woo.
Okay, trade deadline. We're going. We're going to start from the top now. I wanted to get to the series split with the Reds because I wanted to do the Tom Brenneman thing. That was awesome. This is the Ivy Boys podcast presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Baker Gundecker, RebeccaSellsDreams.com, 314-369-9680. Joel is back. Robot voice. I hope we just got the kinks knocked out of us here for a minute. I hope that's taken care of. Again, folks, we are sorry for the technical difficulties. We will get this fixed hopefully by next week. So that's where we are. All right. So we didn't do timer in the first episode because of all the discombobulating and robot voices. So we're going 7-minute timer, Joel. That's all you have. 7 minutes timer to talk about Tony Kemp and Nick Castellanos. Ready, set, go.
Tony Kemp has been fine so far. I mean, when your biggest contribution to a ball team is that you can backflip, we're still waiting for a little bit more from him. Let's spend the next 6 minutes and 50 seconds talking about Nicholas Castellanos. This guy has added a lot to the top of the lineup. Plug him in there every single day as your number 2 hitter because even though he hits lefties better, he has been creaming everyone since he put a Cubs uniform on. What has he got? 4 home runs now, and
Yes.
He is making solid contact, playing good enough defense. He's fine out there. You're a worse defensive outfield when you have Jason Hayward not in right, but at the same time, the offense clearly, based on the Cubs being 7-4 since they got Castellanos. And you're seeing great offensive performances, back-to-back double-digit run games, which is something the Cubs hadn't done since April or May. And that's not something you can count on completely. But at the same time, I mean, just ride this guy's hot bat, man. He's got a ton of doubles so far, leading the major leagues. He has not slowed down since he got to the Cubs. In fact, he's just heated up in that department as well. So you're getting more guys on base because Castellanos is getting so many hits. He's another guy you have to worry about. He actually seems to be adding a little bit of uniformity to the lineup beneath him, moving Chris Bryant comfortably down to third, keeping Javi in a position where he's going to have more men on base when he's up to the bat, up to the plate. So it's one guy added to the lineup, but it makes it so much more potent. And I understand also, you were a 6-man. You were basically felt good about 6, maybe 5 of your hitters, and now with Castellanos that adds 1 guy. But the emergence of Ian Happ at the same time that Castellanos is doing this helps even more because Castellanos has been fantastic, but Happ has been doing damage too. That almost feels like a pickup, I mean,
Yeah.
You look at what Happ has done, and you had none of that for so long this season, and just having him out there playing some great second base, playing great offensive second base, and serviceable defensive. It's almost like you got an extra guy at the deadline.
And you're okay with what the Cubs gave up for Nick Castellanos?
Totally fine with it. Yes, I'm completely fine. This is the window of your window. This is a year where you should be competing for a world championship. And if you are not, and you're being, if you're punting on this season, which luckily thankfully the Cubs did not, because despite playing poorly, you're still in first place. You shouldn't punt on it because once you get into the playoffs, who knows what could happen.
Right.
I'm glad that they gave up whatever it took to get to get him.
Now, remember, the Cardinals were in first place at the trade deadline, and they did nothing. They actually traded Jed Jerko.
That's right. They were. You're 100% right. They got worse.
They got worse. They lost their power bat off the bench.
Really odd. And the Cubs
really was.
Also, addition by subtraction, unfortunately, because Carl Edwards just couldn't get right with the Cubs. So he's another guy who you actually made your bullpen stronger by getting rid of him.
Yes, and I agree with. Yeah, it was time. Maybe he needed to change the scenery, maybe a different way to approach come pitching. We'll see how he does in San Diego.
Which really stinks. I love the guy.
I thought he was awesome, but he couldn't find the strike zone.
And you can't have that.
No, not when you're trying to compete for a World Series.
Not during big boy time, as Joe put it.
Big boy time. I love that. And I love the fact that both Theo and Joe Madden has come out and said Nick Castellanos is reminding these other players what it's like to be hungry.
Yeah, which is weird in a baseball sense, but I understand, like, taking that extra base, the aggression that he shows. I read somewhere, I heard it on the radio, Castellanos doesn't watch video.
Correct.
He doesn't really watch much video. He just wants to know he wants to know how hard the guy throws and what his out pitch is, and then he goes up there against the pitcher and just does what he does.
He's old school. He's old school.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is what this team needed. They needed an old school guy. David Ross is gone. Ben Zobrist hadn't been here most of the year. They needed an old school guy with an old school approach, and Nick Castellanos is that guy. And it's worked. It has worked so far. How awesome is it, the fact that they can pencil in Jason Hayward as the leadoff hitter now, and he has not slumped, leaving the sixth spot, which some people thought might happen. Why move somebody that's working there in the sixth spot with Jason Hayward? But it's working as the leadoff hitter. He's getting on base. Ahead into Castellanos. Now Castellanos would drive him in or get on base himself. Next thing you know, you have two runners on with Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez coming to the plate.
It's nice when things are clicking really well. And, I mean, what's your expectation on the road? Just not lose a series at this point? I mean, the Cubs have 6 more games on this 10-game road trip. Are you happy if you're 5-5 on this road trip?
No, from here on out, again, like I said, I'm very happy with the Red Series. I'm very happy that they split with how badly they've played on the road.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, I expect one win. Winning this series would be huge, but I expect them to win one game. Don't get swept. Pittsburgh is horrible since the All-Star break. Pittsburgh's won 4 games.
Yeah.
4 games since the All-Star break. We are a month removed from the All-Star break. They've won 4 games.
So you expect to sweep that 2 out of 3, depending on how that one
Don't
loss
lose
is.
that
You feel
series.
okay with it.
I will be very, very upset if the Cubs lose the series in Pittsburgh. Be upset.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fair.
they're the worst team in baseball right now. The worst team. You cannot lose that series.
No, you can't. They're definitely the worst team in the Central right now, and probably the worst team in the National League. I mean, the Orioles are really bad. So
you know who's worse is the Detroit Tigers. That gave
Tigers,
us Nick Castellanos.
They're sneaky. They're sneaky historically bad.
Yeah. Like it's kind of sad. They've won 34, 35 games.
I want to say last time I looked it was 32, but that was last week. So maybe they went on a heater and got up to 35. The likelihood of the Cubs. I mean, yeah. But if you go 1-2 against the Phillies and you win 2 out of 3 against the Pirates, just because, I mean, statistically speaking, they have to win a game sometime. So the Pirates might pull one off against the Cubs.
That.
So yeah, you can end up 5-5. The thing is, a 5-5 series, I feel, will guarantee you that you will still be in first place when you get back to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, and then you just win at home. The Cubs are 41-19 at home.
Yes, and they would still have to go 16-5 for the rest of the season to match what they did back in 2016. That's how good that team was that year at home. The Cubs were 57-24 at home in 2016. They would have to win 75% of their games going forward at home.
Yeah, but the way this team plays at home, they easily could do it. It could happen. It could.
It could happen.
The way they play at home, it definitely could. Speaking of home.
0 chance of it happening.
Yes. Speaking of home, that segment's over. We're moving on. This is the Ivy Boys podcast, presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker, 314-369-9680, or RebeccaSellsDreams.com. Speaking of home, their 5-1 homestand. How awesome was that? I want your reaction on that.
The pitching was so good in that homestand. It was so good, and that's the thing that I was illuminated to during that series is that as long as the pitching is, I mean, look at the names on the back of those jerseys, man.
Yes.
You got Lester Hamels, Hendricks, Yu Darvish. This is an all-star. This is an all-star team of all-star teams in the rotation, and Jose Quintana. I mean, I got he's five. He's the fifth man in this rotation right now.
And he
Lester
pitched
might
great.
be pitching very poorly also, but he just threw 7 innings of one-run ball. Quintana did recently. He leads the team in quality starts.
Yep. He's their most reliable starter all year.
Are you sure? Are you sure that it isn't Cole Hamels?
No, I feel like it's Jose Quintana.
Okay.
Based on quality starts alone.
Well, I mean, yeah, he has the most, so I guess if we're going to go with that,
I mean,
sure,
why not?
I understand. By the way, I want to get back to one thing. I'm really happy about the 5-1 homestand. It's awesome. We'll talk about it for a couple more minutes. 4 of the next 5. I just want to say, I thought Yu Darvish pitched very well on Friday night in the game where he gave up 4 home runs.
Yes.
And I know that it's hard to say that when a guy gives up he gave up 3 home runs, 4 runs total. Any contact the Reds made on him was hard contact, but they made very little contact. He got the ball where he wanted it to be. He had great control, struck out a ton of guys. I feel like if he pitches like that, more often than not, he isn't giving up 3 home runs, and he's getting out of there with a great performance. He has been very, very good for quite some time now, Friday night included in my mind.
I agree. I thought he looked great, especially. I even tweeted after the first inning, and I go, do you remember when Yu Darvish wasn't good? That was my tweet, because he looked amazing after the first inning. And I felt like it was going to be a good night for him. I did. And I mean, the home runs suck, but that means he was around the plate, and when you're around the plate, that's going to happen. You're going to give up hits. But he's around the plate. He's not walking anybody anymore. That's the positive taken away from it, is the walks aren't happening anymore with Yu Darvish.
That's true. Now, he is giving up a lot of long balls. He has now surrendered 26 home runs this year. That is the most in the National League. So he's got to get that cleaned up. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Yeah, but a walk can lead to a big inning. A solo home run's 1 run. If you don't walk
right.
the guy ahead of him, it's only 1 run. And you expect your offense to score runs for you also.
Go ahead. Yeah. A lot of his career numbers, a lot of his numbers this season are now lined up with his career numbers. This year, he's giving up 7.2 hits per 9 innings. He gives up 7.3 in his career. His whip this year is 1.19, career 1.19. He's pitching like Yu Darvish should. The ERA is high, but I mean that's explained away in a couple of ways. Walks early in the season hurt him. His ERA has come down precipitously since the beginning of June, and home runs have been hurting him more recently, even though you give up 3 in one day and it's going to look really bad.
Yes. I agree. I mean, yeah. I mean, Yu Darvish has been he's been good. This rotation is good when Lester's on and when Hamels is back, being Hamels. This rotation's really, really good. And when Hendricks doesn't get hosed in the strike zone. Look,
and that's why the Cubs went 5-1 on their homestand.
Exactly.
It was the really good starting pitching.
Exactly. If Hendricks doesn't get the corners or the low pitch by the umpire, Hendricks isn't going to be good that day. It's just not. Because he doesn't have the stuff to go and compete against you in the middle of the strike zone. He cannot blow you away in the middle of the strike zone.
Well, he didn't do a very good job of changing the eye level of the hitter either. If you're not getting that strikeout there, you've got to – I mean, pitching is the disruption of timing. Kyle Hendricks is able to disrupt your timing even if he isn't getting the borderline strike calls. He is able to make an 88-mile-an-hour fastball look like 92. As long as he is commanding the ball low in the zone, as long as he has his sinker and his curveball working. And maybe some of that is the fact that he wasn't getting the strikes on the outside, but some of that might just be frustration that he wasn't getting it and he wasn't commanding his pitches as well as he could have been or should have been. And when you do that, I mean, those balls are going to look pretty tantalizing in the middle of the plate. And you gotta miss high. He can't miss his location and miss it middle like he was every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna miss, you're gonna miss. They always told me when I was pitching, if you're gonna miss low.
Mm-hmm.
Miss low, because more times than not, they're not gonna be able to get under the ball down there. They're gonna top it or they're gonna take it for a ball. So miss low. That is what I was taught my whole life growing up pitching.
Hendricks has given up 17 home runs this year. He gave up 22 all of last season in 11 more starts than he's made this year. He gave up 17 and 24 starts back in 2017. I remember that was the year that, I guess the last couple of years, his first innings were what doomed him. If you look at his career, it's now enough of a sample size that you can look at his career and say, wow, he really stinks in the first inning.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He does. He does stink in the first inning. But a 5-1 homestand. That was huge. The sweep of the Brewers was huge. They didn't even do that to them in Milwaukee. The Cubs at least took a game in Milwaukee. Right? They didn't get swept in Milwaukee.
Right. Yeah, no, they didn't get swept in Milwaukee. The sweep of the Brewers, and honestly, the Brewers have been playing well enough that it's not like the Cubs were able to put their foot on the necks of Milwaukee. But letting the league know and letting the Central know that you're not going to go into Wrigley Field and feel good about
Right.
the way you're able to play. The Cubs have a firm grasp of how to win at that. What is it? The third best record? The Cubs have, I think, the Dodgers and the Astros have a better record at home, and then it's the Cubs.
Yeah. I don't expect that to end. They're going to be dominant at the home. They're going to turn around on the road as much as they can. And that's why I still, to this day, think that the Cubs will win this division.
I think so, too. I'm with you.
And you know what? The playoffs are a new season. Nothing else matters. Nothing you've done before that matters when you make the playoffs.
I mean, what chance do you give the Cubs to beat the Dodgers if the Cubs will be the road team in that series? The Dodgers are going to have home field advantage. I give the Cubs 35% chance of winning that series.
Okay, I was going to go 43.
Okay, all right. So we're not too far off.
Right. Because I feel like the Cubs can steal a game in LA. That's 4 games in LA, and I feel like they could at least steal 1, which means you just have to win at home. You have to stop the Dodgers from beating you at home.
Yeah, and, I mean, you can beat Clayton Kershaw in the postseason. The Cubs have done it.
They've done it. Everybody's done it.
And with that rotation, man, with that 1 through 4, the Cubs can beat anybody.
Yes, I agree. Everybody talks about the surging Mets and getting them in a short series with that rotation, Stroman, DeGrom, and Syndergaard, and then you have Wheeler as your 4th guy. I don't care. The Cubs have the same thing. Hendricks, Lester, Hamels, Quintana, Darvish.
I will say, if the Mets get into, and this isn't on the rundown, so we're kind of going off script.
We're out of things to talk about.
If the Mets get into, dude, if the Mets get into the postseason, I'm riveted. I'm absolutely riveted to whatever they go Mets Dodgers. I'm in, man.
You're going to root for the Mets against the Dodgers?
No. Well, maybe. Now that I think about it, I don't want to face Ryu once or twice.
Right? Isn't that crazy to think that Ryu probably starts game 1 for the Dodgers and not Kershaw?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Dave Roberts. I'm trying to think. I mean, Dave Roberts isn't the kind of guy that goes for sentimentality.
Yep.
Like, for example, who starts game 1 for the Cubs? Now, who should and who will?
Oh, it's going to be Lester.
That's the problem. It is going to be Lester. He's pitched like dog food for, not every time out, but what, 3 of the last 5 starts? I mean,
yes.
if he fades in September, how can you put him out there in game 1?
No, I agree. I mean, why not Jose Quintana?
The guy who should get it is, in my mind, I would say the guy who should get it is Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you because I agree it should not be John Lester. And you can make the argument for Hendricks. You can make the argument for Katana. You can make the argument for Darvish too. And Cole Hamels. The only argument you can't make is John Lester unless, of course, he turns it around.
Like, okay, so 2015, John Lester comes over and he doesn't get the ball in the one-game playoff for two reasons. One, that was his first year with the team. He hadn't really established himself all that much, even though he pitched okay. And two, Jake Arrieta had the greatest second half of baseball we've ever seen in anyone's lifetime.
Correct.
That's what it would take. It would take Hamels to throw 4 straight shutouts going into the playoffs for him to supplant John Lester as the guy to get the ball in Game 1 of a series.
Correct. But John Lester got the ball in Game 1 of the NLDS. Don't forget that.
Well, because Arrieta couldn't.
Right. True. Yeah, man. Yeah, thinking back to that game, that was awesome. That wild card. But John Lester got the ball in the wild card game against the Rockies.
That's true because there was no Jake. That's what I'm saying. You have to have an
but why not Cole Hamels right
run.
there? Why not Cole Hamels? Cole Hamels was pitching amazing for the Cubs when he first came over. Absolutely amazing.
Did Cole Hamels pitch in Game 163?
No, he pitched in the wild card game, but he pitched after Lester.
Okay. Well, I don't have an answer for you there, except that John Lester is a guy who commands respect, and
I agree.
The reason he pitched in the wild card game is the same reason he's going to pitch in Game 1, because he's John Lester, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Also, he led the league in wins last year. I mean, that's not an important stat anymore, but he did lead the league in wins. He had a great season last year.
That is a stat that I did not know. I didn't know that.
He was the winningest pitcher in baseball in the National League. Blake Snell won it in the American League.
I didn't know that. If this was 20 years ago, John Lester would have won the Cy Young.
That's true. Yeah, he would have been the Bob Welch of 2018 had he won the Cy Young.
Would have won the Cy Young because he had the most wins in the National League.
Yep.
So are you happy? Are you
Yes.
just all around happy with the way the Cubs are performing and the moves they made at the trade deadline and everything like that?
Yes, I feel so much better about this team than I did 1 month ago today.
I do too. I feel better about this team. Like, I cannot explain this enough, and I've said this at least 3 times now on this podcast. I can't explain how much relief I have the fact that they won today. Like, they split in Cincinnati. I feel good. Like, I feel really good about this team. I feel like the Philadelphia series, I think they could surprise them and take 2 out of 3. I really do. Like, that's the level I'm at right now because of this. Because
and
of the
I feel
win
the same
today.
way I did after Game 4 of the Mets series. That, oh boy, good thing they did win that game because it would have been a disaster had they not.
Yeah, I feel good also. This is the Ivy Boys podcast presented by the MVP realtor of the St. Louis area. Rebecca Lewis with Coldwell Banker Gundecker can answer all your questions related to selling your home fast. Rebecca sold another house this week. The picture was put up on Twitter and it's going to be on the website. Another house sold for Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker. What can I say about her, right? Just because she's my mom, I still tell you she's an amazing realtor. She is a no-nonsense realtor. She will tell you exactly what you need to do to get the top dollar amount that you want for your house. If you need to take down stuff off the wall, she'll tell you. If you need to paint the house, she'll tell you to do it, and you better do it. Rebecca Lewis knows exactly what it takes to sell your house. She can also help you buy a house, too. You ask her, you tell her exactly what you want when it comes to buying a house. Rebecca Lewis will find that house for you.
Do you have a lot of experience with nonsense realtors? You said she's a no-nonsense realtor.
She's a no-nonsense realtor. She is. She is a no-nonsense. She will tell you like it is. If she thinks you might hate her, but then you're going to realize that when you leave her to go to another realtor, that you wish you had her back.
Did the people like? I would love that testimonial. Like, oh, thank goodness we went with Rebecca Lewis. She's a no-nonsense realtor. We went with a nonsense realtor one time. Oh, this lady came into our house, told us to put up pictures of different clown cars from around the world in every single room of our house. She told us to remove the bathroom, put a guillotine in there just to liven things up a little bit. It was the most bizarre moment ever, and we're so glad we went with a no-nonsense realtor
No
with
nonsense.
Rebecca Lewis. No nonsense.
No, you know what?
None of this nonsense stuff.
You know what no nonsense means when it comes to realty, Joel? It means that she's not going to tell you that she's going to be able to get you this amount without you doing anything to your house. Because if you ever sold a house before, if you've ever had to move before, you know that there's always something you have to do to make your house that much better. To put it on someone's must-have list. That's what Rebecca Lewis does. That's her no-nonsense approach to realty. So, Rebecca knows this area, can expertly consult you on your area's property values, information about housing trends, and how Coldwell Banker Gundecker will get your home sold fast. So call Rebecca Lewis at 314-369-9680 or RebeccaSellsDreams.com.
I know what you mean, man. Our first house, my wife and I, we actually lived in a hog stable, and the realtor came right in and said, "Ooh, we can sell this for $400,000." I said, "Get out of here! That's nonsense."
It's nonsense.
I want a no-nonsense
Nonsense. Hog stable. I mean, it makes sense. You do live in Iowa.
It's nothing but, man. Nothing but hogs.
Nothing but hogs. And then northwest in Iowa, you have cows.
Yep. I met a guy from New York one time who was here. He was a comedian, and he said, "Man, this is nice. I thought that Des Moines was nothing but cowboys and cornfields," which I had never heard cowboys before.
I've never heard cowboys when it comes to Des Moines.
That is not what Iowa's about. We are not a cowboy state.
No. That's Texas and the Rocky Mountain states.
But we are a beer drinking state.
That is right, and that's why it's now time for Joel and my favorite segment.
Easily.
It's easily our favorite segment. Because there's sometimes that you can tell that we've partaked before or while doing the podcast. I'm pulling up the music right now.
Yeah, I'm nursing a Busch Light. I'm chugging a Bud Light. So.
I was wondering why you were drinking Busch Light because you told me Bud Light.
Oh, no, this here is Bud Light. So in order to not get deported from Iowa, I have to drink a Busch Light. But I have Bud Light here to enjoy myself with.
Good.
So here we go.
Good. So you have Bud Light tonight. We don't need to talk about your boring beer from a boring town. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. My beer tonight, getting away from my favorite part, by the way, of the song. Again, I have no idea what they're saying. Getting away from my kind of microbrewery thing that I have going on here in St. Louis, somebody gave me this Yuengling. Yuengling? Again, am I saying this right, Joel? Yuengling?
Oh, Yuengling. Yes, they are a big hipster beer, man. You have made yourself so popular in a very specific part of New York City right now.
I'm excited because it's brewed in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Yuengling. Yes. I'm going light tonight, and I didn't buy this. I want that be known. I did not buy this beer. I was given this beer for tonight by our friend Jamie, regular viewer of the podcast. He's actually hosted this podcast at one point with me. So that is my beer of choice, the Yuengling Light Lager. I'm kind of excited. I have sipped this a little bit. I enjoy it. It's a good beer. So I gotta let the foam kind of go down for a minute. So we're gonna enjoy a little bit more beer drinking music. Joel, while we're waiting for the foam and we're talking about doing beer drinking, it reminds me of when are we gonna get our first fried foods?
That is so. Hey, man, I'm gonna be in Kansas City tomorrow. So tell you what, as soon as we're done here, I will edit it down. I've got the clips. I think there are 6 clips that I have to edit down to one video.
Okay.
It'll be up tonight.
Oh, look at that, folks. So after tonight, again, if you like and subscribe this YouTube page and turn on your notifications, when Joel uploads his fried foods segment, You'll know when it happens right away. Before we tweet about it, you'll know. Like and subscribe. That's all I can say. Again, I'm waiting for this phone to go. But so Joel, it's about hot dogs, right?
It's about Chicago-style hot dogs in Des Moines. Also, the next one we have, it's going to be Chicago-style pizza. Giordano's just opened here in Des Moines. We've got them. We've got Rosati's, which is another actual authentic like Chicago company that came to Des Moines. So there are a couple of those. And we've got some local Chicago-style pizza places. Felix and Oscar is going to get a slice of that. And my wife has made what I think is an awesome, almost the wrong word, is a really awesome deep dish pizza. Tastes very similar like a Gino's East. So I'm going to try a slice of that too.
I'm excited for that. All right, my phone has gone away just enough now. All right, Joel, you ready? Bud Light, Yingling Light Lager, turning up the music now. Cheers, and as usual, go Cubs go.
Go Cubs go.
Der Watschentanz, der ist sehr beliebt, weil's bei uns nichts Schöneres gibt. Und es klatscht nicht schlecht, und es quatscht nicht schlecht, und dabei sind die Watschen nicht echt.
I'm a fan.
Yuengling is one of the oldest breweries in America. I have to look up and see.
It says right here, America's oldest brewery. It says it right there on the bottom.
It says so on the website too.
America's oldest brewery.
Wow.
I was a fan. I mean, it's got a bald eagle on it. How can I not like it? I mean, I feel like it would be un-American.
Doesn't Anheuser-Busch also have a bald eagle on it?
I like Budweiser. I hate Bud Light. Explain that one. You know why?
I don't care to.
You know why they have all these different flavors of Bud Light, right?
No.
Because the original is not that good tasting.
Okay, well, agree to disagree. I like it a lot. I enjoy water.
You enjoy water. Beer flavored water.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's easy to drink. It goes down so smooth.
No, I get it. Anyways. All right, so I'm a fan of Yuengling. You still drink Bud Light, but you were enjoying Busch Light, which I can get on board with any day of the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're both...
Busch Light, I didn't used to drink it, but I got on a low... I was up to 225 weight-wise, and my wife said, you know, if you're going to drink beer, drink Busch Light, carbs, and I'm not going to commercial like the Subway guy, who we will never speak of again. But I'm not going to be like doing a Busch Light commercial saying I tried the Busch Light diet, but it didn't hurt. It certainly didn't hurt to lose all those calories. So
trust me, I was on the Busch Light diet there for a while. Before I got married, I was on the Busch Light diet. Whew. No doubt. All right, so we like our beers. We're happy with our baseball team. You know, we weren't here last week because life got in the way, but that's okay. We both are family men. I was at the lake with my family. You were doing something with your family at the time. It was going to be close anyways. We decided to scratch it, and that's my PSA for the moment, is because life happens, folks. That's why there was no podcast last week. That's why the videos have kind of come in between, you know, here or there, because life does happen, and we both enjoy spending time with our families. We both have full-time jobs, but you all know that. But that does bring me to this point. And before we get to our final thoughts, Joel, I do want to throw this out here. Again, we are looking for sponsors. We are looking for somebody to come in here so we can read sponsors a commercial just like I do for Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker, 314-369-9680. And we want to generate more revenue so we can bring you merchandise. That is what we're shooting for now, is to get the merchandise up and running. But we cannot do that without money. And that's where you guys come in. So please, if you are looking to be a sponsor or want to be a sponsor for this podcast, contact me at ChipperStrike3. Again, just like my Twitter handle, it's just the number 3 at gmail.com. you can be a sponsor there. Or if you just want to be generous and slide us a couple bucks, we're not going to complain about that. We are not above that here on that podcast about taking free money. So anyways, Joel, final thoughts. Go.
I don't think Nicholas Castellanos is going to have as good a week this week as he did last week. The Cubs are going to need to generate some offense from someone else, and I wonder if Kyle Schwarber isn't going to have a massive week, and also Javier Baez. It's going to be nice when the catcher comes back, when Wilson Contreras comes back. I look at these next 6 games as so pivotal, and I don't think you can rely on a guy who's hitting so darn well since he came back. So my final thought is the Cubs are going to need to get consistent offense from somewhere other than Nicholas Castellanos, or else they're going to lose 4 out of 6 games over the next week. Before we talk again.
Wow. That's on point right there. I like it. That's the hard-hitting stuff you get here from the Ivy Boys podcast. So, yeah, remember.
We hit so hard.
Sponsor. That's what you'll be part of. My final thought is it's simple. Cubs are still in first place. Game and a half ahead of the Brewers, sure. 2 games ahead of the Cardinals. They're off tomorrow. They head to Philadelphia for 3 again. You win one of them, and then go into Pittsburgh and take the series, if not sweep. Then you come home. We talked about it. This team is great at the home. I feel like I can't, again, the win tonight to split with the Reds, I feel like is a huge step forward for them trying to figure out how to win on the road. I think it's a huge step forward because they were down 3-0. They could have rolled over and called it a day, but they didn't. They came roaring back and won 6-3. It was amazing. It was great, and it's something that you've been waiting to see from this team, a comeback win on the road. And that's what you saw. Another comeback that's about to happen that's making me really excited is Ben Zobrist. Ben Zobrist has gone down. Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. There you go, Joe. Yes. Hallelujah. Ben Zobrist is coming back. He went to South Bend, tore it up. He's been in Myrtle Beach now, hit back-to-back home runs in 2 days. Leadoff home runs in 2 days for Ben Zobrist. How awesome has that been? Ben Zobrist is going to be back sooner than later. This team is good. This team's about to get better because Ben Zobrist is coming back. You're going to have Wilson Contreras coming back. Craig Kimbrell, Brandon Kinsler. Everybody's coming back. This team's going to get healthy for September. And come September, they're going to pull away in this division. They're going to still win it by 5 games. That is my prediction. That's my hot take for the day. Cubs still win this division by more than 5 games because everybody comes back. Everybody's going to get hot in September, and they're going to roll into the playoffs.
Whoa. By more than 5 games? You said what I said was a hot take. This division is coming back to itself over and over again, and you throw that out there?
Everybody is going to be healthy. Everybody is back, and this team is going to play like the team we think they are, that we know they are. Yep. And then you throw in Nick Castellanos, a guy who just fits. He just fits with this team. That's my final thought. I just got really excited. Whew. Whew.
Okay. You excited, man. And that was hubris. Oh, my God. Let's make a gentleman's bet right now.
Okay.
If the Cubs win by more than 5... Okay, let's do this. Over-under. Because everyone's going to play 162 games, let's make the over-under 4.5, okay?
Deal.
If the Cubs win by 5 or more games, and the bet is whoever wins picks the beer the other one has to chug go at regular season.
So the winner, because
you can make me chug whatever you want me to chug.
I mean, deal, because so what you're saying is...
So if the Cubs win by 7 games...
You have to chug any beer I give you. Any beer I tell you. I might have to ship you a beer because you don't have it in Iowa.
Well, let's make it work, man. Let's make it happen.
I'm excited.
I'll pick a beer that's common, but I don't think you'll enjoy drinking.
Oh, gosh, it's gonna be Bud Light.
Let's go with it.
Gosh darn it, it's gonna be Bud Light. I know it is.
No, I'm gonna make you
don't
drink
get-
a Green Line. I'm gonna make you drink a Green Line IPA from Goose Island.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
I'm gonna make you drink a Goose Island Green Line. That is horrible. It's my least. So I like Goose Island. I don't love it, but I like it. And Green Line IPA tastes like liquid garbage. It's so bad.
It's horrible. IPAs in general are.
Or
just not
I'll
good.
make you a drink. Or I'll make you chug a Honker's Ale.
Okay, never mind.
Also Goose Island.
Never mind. I've had it. I can do like I could sip on one, but I can't. No. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be horrible. Come on, Cubs, don't let me down on this. Please don't let me down on this. Anyways, that's it for us, folks. I was all excited, and now Joel's got me nervous. Because I might have to drink a horrible beer. Don't let me down, Cubs. Don't let me down. Please don't let me down.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they win by 5 games, then I'm drinking whatever putrid mess you send me.
Oh yeah, it ain't gonna be good. It's gonna be. I will tell you this right now. It's gonna be some form of IPA because I feel like we're the same person when it comes to our beer that we don't really enjoy IPAs.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
No, we
it's
do not.
Definitely gonna be an IPA.
Not at all.
I'm thinking O'Fallon
Yeah,
5-day
you're-
IPA. It's horrible. Or I might send you that Heffenweizen that I just absolutely hated.
I mean, I just drink light lagers. That's what I really enjoy. That or pilsners. I like those. So
Yeah. Yeah, this is
just
gonna be fun.
something. If it goes down smooth, I want to do it. I don't want to have an abrasive beer. I don't enjoy those.
Oh, one of us will be at the end of the season. That is definitely a guarantee right there. We might have our first stop halfway chug at the end of the season.
Okay,
Haven't had it yet,
that's fair,
so,
man. We'll
anyway.
do this. So that's okay. I love the gentleman's bets. They make me happy.
I'm excited. And also scared for my life.
I'm scared for mine too.
Yeah. Anyways, folks, that is it for us. We're calling it before we talk more shenanigans. Follow us on Twitter at the Ivy Boys. Follow me on Twitter at Chipperstrike3. Just the number 3. Follow Joel on Twitter at Fry Sports Radio. Like us on Facebook. Bob takes care of the Facebook page mainly, but definitely check it out. He does interact with fans on Facebook, which is awesome. Definitely check that out. Like and subscribe to the YouTube page that you're watching this on right now. We need viewers. That starts with you. If we want sponsors, we need viewers. That's where you guys come in. So if you're watching this, if you clicked on the link from any of the numerous Facebook pages that I have posted about our live stream or our live episode, please like and subscribe. We want views and we want subscribers. We want you guys to hear our voices. And you don't have to respect us, and that's fine. But just give us the reviews. Just give us those views. We're not above that. That's what we want right now is views. We like the people that stick around and listen to our opinions. But we know some people don't like our opinions. Some people don't like the Cubs. If you don't like the Cubs, that's fine. Give me the view. That's all I care about when it comes to people who don't like the Cubs. Just give me the view. I have tons of friends here who are Cardinal fans who don't care that I talk about the Cubs, but they give me the view. So shout out to those guys. Thanks for that. Even though I know you're not listening. Anyways, like and subscribe to the YouTube page. If you go to our website, it's getting updated tonight. Joel, did you know our website's getting updated tonight?
I did not know that.
Of course not. I didn't tell you. I just realized it. Bob is updating the website as we speak. He's adding a couple new things, a new feature. Bob is adding this new feature. It's called the Article Vlog Featured. Article and Vlog. Which means, Joel, you and I have to actually do something at least once a week. We have to have a new video or a new article once a week. And you'll find it in the new featured section on the website. So,
Sweet.
yes, it makes us actually have to do something besides the podcast, which makes me feel excited.
I'm excited too.
Yes.
I want to have pressure put on me to write because I've only written a couple of articles so far.
And I'm the same way with the videos. I get excited on my days off and before the podcast, but in between, I need a little kick in the butt. Anyways, If you like the way the website looks, scroll all the way down. I have a new website for you to go to if you like the way it looks and wants your website to look like that, or logos and merchandise like you're seeing I'm wearing tonight. It's bobdoeswork.com. Bob Marufo has a new website, bobdoeswork.com, bobdoeswork.com, bobdoeswork.com. Again, Bob does amazing work for us. He does our logos, website, stuff like that. So if you want stuff that looks as great as our stuff does, contact Bob at bobdoeswork.com or on Facebook, facebook.com/bobdoeswork. Simple as that. Anyways, folks, I believe that's it for us. Joel, I think we're done. We're done, right?
We have concluded this episode.
Yes, that was me stalling because I forgot to plug in my radio on my phone. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for the support, and we will see you next episode.